It's your boy Bugatti NYC back again with another one. Yes, it's Sunday and we working. To be honest with you, I got too much content for today. Actually had to fall back. I think I might just do 2 shows. But let's not put the cart before the horse. Let's get this one started. It's your boy Bugatti NYC, and like I always tell you, could have went anywhere. But the fact that you came here to chill with me, I appreciate you. What are we talking about today? Let's see. Let's zoom in first. Let me get you guys right like we always do. What does that say right there? That says Hunter Biden pardon backfires. Trump uses Joe's words in hush money case to be dropped. Also, we got a judge that's saying the U.S. and that U.S. can deport sanctuary cities. Rumble CEO slams Mark Zuckerberg for trying to become a part of Trump's cabinet. That and much more today's The Bottom Line. Let's get to it. Like I always tell you, you can go over to the website, get yourself a 4-pack of Big Drip. www.drinkbigdrip.com. Raspberry, grape, lemon. 14% alcohol by volume. Big taste, big flavor, big punch. Big Drip. Also got the puff print hoodies. Check this out. Y'all know about the puff print. Go check out the puff print. Everything that you see is available on the website, www.drinkbigdrip.com. First thing we're going to start off with is Hunter Biden's pardon, how it's a possibility that it may backfire, and what Donald Trump, President-elect Trump, has done to try to make it exactly do that. Check this out.
Christian and MSNBC legal correspondent Lisa Rubin. Welcome to both of you. So walk us through what the Trump team is asking, Lisa, and how they're using the pardon as part of it.
Well, let's start with what they're asking for, Chris, because they were at a point in time asking for the verdict in this case. That's the jury verdict that Trump was guilty on 34 felony counts. They were asking for that to be vacated, and now they're going further. They're saying that the indictment itself has to be fully and finally dismissed because of the norm that a sitting president can't be prosecuted. And that's an idea that they extend now to a president-elect. They essentially say that because a president-elect is consumed with ensuring the continuity of government, that the same constitutional concerns that prevent the prosecution of a sitting president should extend to Trump in this period as well, and therefore the entire case should be thrown out.
Do you think, though, Catherine, that the inclusion of the Hunter Biden pardon strengthens the Trump team argument?
No.
So a question, what do you guys think? I like this part. In the comments below, let me know what you think. Do you think that even a president-elect should be covered under immunity when something happens, as far as like J6 and stuff of that nature? Leave your comments in the bottom. Let me know.
I had to throw it in. It was sort of a gift that happened this weekend.
So more political than legal in your view?
In fact, the whole brief, in my opinion, is legal arguments surrounded by scurrilous allegations against the prosecution team, against Jack Smith, against Judge Merchan, against his adult daughter who doesn't live with him. And it's really a political brief as opposed to a legal brief. I don't believe that Judge Merchan will be dismissing the indictment based on this. An indictment, by the way, that went to trial, and as Lisa said, a jury found the defendant, Trump, guilty of 34 counts.
So we mentioned D.A. Bragg, and he's previously signaled in his arguments that he thinks the case could be paused while Donald Trump is in office. But Trump's team in this filing, as you said, argue that that is not an option.
So what they're talking about doing is pausing the criminal state case against Donald Trump, because even though he's a president and he can't be federally charged on the other cases like Atlanta and the other cases, he can still be charged once he comes out of office for the state charges that he has in New York. So what his lawyers are trying to do is throw all of this stuff out, get it all taken care of now before he becomes a private citizen again.
How does that debate play into the judge's decision here?
Well, I think that debate plays in, Chris, coupled with statements that were made by the district attorney's office under a different leader, Cy Vance, when they were litigating their access to documents from the former president, the future president, in his personal capacity, some of his tax and financial documents. They conceded in a filing that a sitting president could not be prosecuted and that they would not intend to exert any prosecution against him. They were solely looking for documents. There's a concept called judicial estoppel. You say something in the same or related criminal proceeding, you're bound by that. And I think that is the best argument that Trump's lawyers have now. They should be and may be asked by Judge Merchan, why shouldn't that bind you here?
So again, and the law says sitting president or president-elect.
That's what you've already conceded. Why are you asking me to pause this case rather than to dismiss it entirely?
The authors of this filing, Catherine, are Todd Blanche and Emil Bofi, two people who could end up actually at DOJ under Donald Trump. I don't even know what to say about that. Is that crazy? Does it impact this?
It's interesting, and I was saying this to Lisa outside. They quote a very famous quote from Robert Jackson, who was a former U.S. Attorney General, former Supreme Court judge. He says that they included it in this filing. I found ironic, considering the statements that have been made, not by these two men, but by President-elect Trump about using the department to exact revenge against people.
So we already knew, Lisa, that Judge Juan Merchan had postponed sentencing on the 34 counts that we talked about indefinitely. What happens now?
He's going to decide whether or not to dismiss the case. The DA's brief is due on December 9th. There is not going to be a reply, and no party has asked for argument thus far. That means unless something changes, this is going to be in Juan Merchan's hand as of December 9th, and we should expect a decision to come shortly thereafter as to whether he dismisses it. If he decides he's not going to dismiss it, then he has to make the decision about whether or not to set aside the verdict. And if he doesn't set aside the verdict, what happens to sentencing? And does he, as the DA has signaled they want, stay the case for the duration of Trump's next presidency?
Merchan, and I think like all the judges who have been.
See, so yeah, what they're trying to do, like I said, stay the case until the end of his presidency. So then it's just like your armor is off. Now we can get you. Because, of course, a state can't come arrest a president while he's sitting, which is kind of crazy. So if you guys look at it, I don't know, what do you guys think about this right now? What do you guys think? Leave your comments. Let me know what you guys think. We got a little bit of more substantiating information, but at the same time, I still want to know what you guys are thinking about this. Check this out. And due to the fact that Hunter Biden was pardoned in a certain manner, this is what they're talking about when they say that they don't know if Trump is going to be able to be let out or dismiss this case under the same grounds of what Hunter Biden's got pardoned under, because of the fact that Joe Biden kind of left himself open and susceptible to further litigation, because now Hunter Biden is no longer covered because he took a pardon. So now if the government or if DA or if anybody, the Department of Justice wants to ask him questions, he has to answer those questions due to the fact that he took the pardon. He's no longer immune as far as that part moving forward. So check this out, how it could be damning for the Biden family for what they just did.
New York hush money case completely dismissed. They referenced the president's sweeping pardon of Hunter Biden, saying that the New York case is a result of the type of attorneys have filed a motion to have the New York hush money case completely dismissed. They referenced the president's sweeping pardon of Hunter Biden, saying that the New York case is a result of the type of political theater that was condemned in the pardon. Former U.S. Attorney Guy Lewis joins me now. Does Trump's team have a case for complete dismissal?
Stuart, originally they did not, in my view, based on the selective prosecution. But this is another reason why President Biden's pardon of his son is too cute by half. They have now taken his own language, President Biden's own language, put it in their pleading, and then walked into court in New York and said, look, even the President of the United States, in his son's case, has said the justice system is selectively prosecuted him. It was unfair. It was inappropriate. I had to put a stop to it. I think what he said was enough is enough. And so they've used that language to go in and say, hey, if the President of the United States can say that about his own Justice Department, certainly it applies to my case, President Trump's case, up in New York. He's got a good point there.
I just want to offer an opinion. It's my opinion. I think it should be dismissed out of hand. It's one way for the New York judicial system to get its reputation back, because it's in tatters at the moment.
I got to tell you, Stuart, I so agree with you on so many levels on this. It is such a travesty of justice that a DA in New York, Alvin Bragg, can run on the platform that I'm going to go after Trump. I'm going to get him. Elect me, I'm going to get him. And then go after him, convict him on a bunch of, no pun intended, trumped up charges about hush money that has never been prosecuted before, 200 plus years, and the president for the first time is convicted. Boy, you talk about a Mickey Mouse case and Mickey Mouse charges.
It's a disgrace.
It's ridiculous in my view.
Next one. If Hunter is called to testify against or about family members, he can't plead the fifth anymore. Can you explain why and what that means going forward?
Great question. So, Stuart, Hunter Biden no longer has a Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. He's gotten pardoned on the conduct. But again, the president went up too far by half. He's too cute by half on this. Rather than just saying, hey, he's my son, I feel bad, he used the selective prosecution argument. That went nowhere really fast. And then the second part of the too cute by half is he did it on this time period from when Hunter Biden first was put on the board at Burisma. There is the hidden dynamite in this case, Stuart, because the president has liability, the president's brother has liability, and other people in the Biden family have liability. And Hunter, at the end of the day, he's going to have to testify to this.
So that means if they ask questions about Burisma, because now they're going to, when they do their investigation, because what do they call him? Late Sleepy Joe has basically kind of put a pinpoint, a bullseye on his family's back, and he's actually given them a point of origin for where they should start and go and investigate. So now, not Hunter, but Jim, whatever, all of the rest of the family members who had part of this, they're now susceptible to being legally sought after in order to substantiate these cases. And Hunter, as the son who no longer has immunity, he has to talk about his own family members. Or guess what? If you lie and you get caught, that's perjury, so you're going to jail. And there's nobody going to be able to get you out for that. So now what does Jim Duca says, throw the case out now? You're right about that. And Vaping Bachelor says Hunter can't plead the fifth now. You heard what they just said. They said Hunter can't plead the fifth anymore. But check the rest out.
Either in a grand jury, a federal grand jury, or in open court. And that's going to be a bad day for the Biden family. They have liability and part of the too cute by half. The president went up too far by half. He's too cute by half on this. Rather than just saying, hey, he's my son, I feel bad, he used the selective prosecution argument. That went nowhere really fast. And then the second part of the too cute by half is he did it on this time period from when Hunter Biden first was put on the board at Burisma. There is the hidden dynamite in this case, Stuart, because the president has liability, the president's brother has liability, and other people in the Biden family have liability. And Hunter, at the end of the day, he's going to have to testify to this.
So All right, so if he has to testify, I hear what somebody in the comments is saying, and you're right. Let me see. This person in the comments just said something real smart that made a lot of sense. Who was that? Vaping Bachelor says Hunter can't plead the fifth now, but Shadows and Tails says he can simply say I don't recall. And you're right. I didn't think about that. You can't. You can't plead the fifth, but you can say I don't recall. And that's the same thing that guy did when it was Young Thug's trial. That guy, he did the same thing. I don't recall. I can't remember. And he didn't get in trouble for that. Shadows Hunter don't look like Ronald Reagan. Vaping Shadows Hunter don't look like Ronald Reagan. Hold on a minute. Let's get some more, y'all. Let's get some more. Want to know what you guys think about this CEO of Rumble that says, I don't know what you want to do first. Y'all want to do, all right, let's go to this first. Let's go to the Biden border crisis where the appeals court judge says the U.S. can deport illegal migrants even if law enforcement tries to refuse. Federal trumps state and city. Therefore, if the federal government wants to come into the state and arrest illegals and criminals and deport them, there's nothing that the state can do anymore. Check this out.
Court on the West Coast just ruled the US can deport illegal immigrants even if local governments oppose those removals. Chad Wolf joins me now. Does this mean Trump can get around? An appeals court on the West Coast just ruled the US can deport illegal immigrants even if local governments oppose those removals. Chad Wolf joins me now. Does this mean Trump can get around sanctuary city rules?
Well, I think this is obviously a win for the incoming Trump administration. And I think what this validates is the ability for ICE to do their job, to remove individuals, bad individuals from the country, regardless of what local jurisdictions may or may not do to help them do that. It's federal immigration law, and they have the ability to execute on that law. So it's a good ruling for them.
How long before the concept of the migrant sanctuary is just out of bounds?
So yes, whatever the state and city tries to do now as far as like stop and implementing, these secure sanctuary cities for migrants as well as illegal criminals, there's nothing you can do anymore. And normally when there's a case passed in another state, other states can replicate it depending on the sort of a law that's passed. They can refer to it. I think it does still have to pass in that state, but they definitely can refer to it when a state like Los Angeles has already passed a law where they can come into sanctuary cities and deport criminals. That means going into the prisons, into different places where you know that these people are, and getting them out and pulling them out and sending them back to wherever their country of origin is. Vaping Bachelor says Shadow Hunter don't look like Ronald Reagan. Harry, vote Harris 2028 then. Harry says vote Kamala Harris 2028. How many people think that Kamala Harris is actually going to run again in 2028, guys? What do you guys think? And if she does, will you vote for her? Vaping Bachelor says Ronald Reagan didn't recall in the Iran-Contra scandal. Ooh. Ooh, good one. Good one.
I think the whole sanctuary idea is just losing steam. I think it's nearing its end. What say you?
Well, I think you're right, Stuart. I think what you see in places like New York, right? You got Mayor Adams saying, look, he wants to sit down with Tom Homan and talk about how they can work together to remove dangerous individuals from their city streets. And I think once, you've got blue city mayors that start to understand what is going on here and how those...
I didn't know this. I didn't know what states were sanctuary. Did you guys know? Let's check out this map real quick because I had no idea that, Washington, Oregon, California, Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, Illinois, New York, Vermont, Massachusetts, New Jersey, and Connecticut. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh yeah, it's definitely the minority when it comes down to sanctuary states versus the rest of the country. And with what's going on now, a lot of these states are being hit really hard. California is being hit really hard under the sanctuary states coverage. New York is being hurt and hit really hard when it comes down to sanctuary states. We got people like, homeless people, migrants. You got all types of people stealing from, let's say, your Walgreens, your Duane Reads. How hard is it to actually go to Walgreens or Duane Reed to buy something now? You try to get a stick of deodorant, you got to press the button for an associate to come and help you. Stuff like that is crazy. And then that little stick of deodorant is $6. Anybody else understand what I'm talking about or got to deal with prices like that? Because it's crazy. I just wanted to know where the sanctuary states are, and if you guys are interested, here they go.
Illegal aliens that continue to commit those crimes and put their community at danger, and how ICE can help them, I think they'll start to come around. But I agree with you. I think the public sentiment on sanctuary city jurisdictions has turned over these last 6 to 8 months.
I really think public sentiment changes when it looks like sanctuary city mayors or sanctuary city state governors are protecting criminals. I mean, I don't see how you can get away with that politically. You've got a rapist in prison, you won't let ICE go get him. I don't see that lasting.
Well, I think that's right. But, what a lot of these blue city mayors are good at doing is they conflate the facts, right? They'll say, well, I want to protect residents in my community, but what they're not saying is I won't turn over criminals to ICE. So I think the more and more that we talk about this, to say all ICE is asking them to do is to let them pick up this dangerous alien criminal while they're in a local jail, so that they don't have to go into city streets, into those communities and put others at risk.
It's like the one that was downtown shooting at the police, or the ones that keep on snatching purses. I even think that the minors and juveniles should be deported as well. You're not from here. I don't care what anybody says. Call me what you want. And it's much harder for all of us to get basic jobs, because if I was doing some research the other day, and they said 100% of all of the jobs are going to migrants. Y'all can get me for that. Y'all can get me for that. Y'all can beat me up for that. But I'm just being honest. You can beat me up for that. Oh boy. C. Maddox, Harry, I'm looking up at you, Harry. He's looking up at you, Harry. C. Maddox looking up at you, Harry. Michael H., you agree? Thank you. At least one person agrees with me. Subscribe to the channel. Please like and share. Thanks. Let's keep going.
When you have an enforcement team that goes out there, let ICE do that within the confines of a jail, which is safe and secure, not only for the officer, but for that alien as well. And that's all we're talking about. And but what you see a lot of these mayors do is they conflate that to say, well, I don't want them to pick up, that 87-year-old grandmother. That's not what we're talking about here. It's not what the president's talking about. It's not what Tom Homan's talking about.
Tom Homan says you go after the villains first and take care of the rest later, but they're first. Chad, thanks for joining us.
So yeah, Tom Homan, they're trying to make his job a little bit easier for him so that he can get the access to the states, and they did it at a federal level, which, no pun intended, trumped what they were trying to do. So now, I want to ask a question. How many people feel as if they get, policed by Facebook or by Instagram, or like they really minimize the amount of content that we can put up? I do want to say that it's good that they're filtering content on Facebook. I do want to say that I think it's important for them to catch things like fighting or bullying or body shaming or anything that was brought up at the last Congress meeting when it had to do with little young children and little girls reporting that they had been, body shamed or approached or sent, naked photos of genitalia and things of that nature. I do respect Facebook for, basically filtering themselves on that concept. I do. But sometimes I'm going to use myself as an example because I don't want to use anybody else. I might see something that somebody posts up and I might put a comment under it. As soon as I put that comment up, a couple of seconds later, I might get something that says, oh, this comment has bullying or harassing or whatever. And I never even said anything that was bullying or harassing or anything in my comment. They're very on their filter, and they're very high level when it comes down to how hard they police you when it comes down to the filtering. So on one accord, they'll let certain stuff go up, like where it's like false stuff about political talk or about a candidate or something like that, or they'll take Trump's account down, or they'll ban one of us and tell us we shouldn't have said that because we said something with sensitive content. We call it Facebook prison, Facebook jail. I don't know how many other people have been through that before. And then like when, let's say you want to say something about politics and you answer something on Facebook, you know, there's a big thing that comes up that says this hasn't been fact checked or whatever. I get that part. But a lot of the other stuff, like letting certain advertisements come up which favor one thing, LGBTQ or whatever like that, or one political candidate. I'm not cool for stuff like that. If you're gonna police everything, police every aspect, police every subject. Don't just police one thing. This is why Rumble's executive had a lot of words for Mark Zuckerberg because of their policing and how they went about the 2016 promotions and advertisements that they were allowing, spamming, and the way that they were going about their advertisement campaigns support. Check this out. Because I actually deal with Facebook. I stopped using it as much as I used to because of how hard they are on, I might say something on Facebook and get banned. Like, who's that sensitive? Like, for real. It's crazy. So check this out. It's time that they get it and they feel it, because I'm tired of being treated like a toddler when it comes down to human beings wanting to say what we got to say. And it's not even hard stuff that we may be saying.
They went in on the action. First, it was Meta's Mark Zuckerberg raising his hand, eager to work with the incoming Trump administration on shaping tech policy. But can we say the irony? Facebook and Instagram have a reputation for over-moderating content, even issuing multiple suspensions to then President Trump. Now enter Jeff Bezos, the Amazon founder and Washington Post owner. He's hoping to mend fences with President-elect. Watch.
I'm actually
I think this is his attempt to try to get cool with Trump and the administration, because he see what's going on with Elon. I think Zuckerberg is trying to do the same thing here too, and Rumble CEO is calling him out for it. I'm not a billionaire, but I'm not blind.
optimistic this time around that we're going to see. I'm very hopeful about this. He seems to have a this time around that.
Post owner, he's hoping to mend fences with President-elect. Watch.
I'm actually very optimistic this time around that we're going to see. I'm very hopeful about this. He seems to have a lot of energy around reducing regulation. And my point of view, if I can help him do that, I'm going to help him.
Well, reducing regulation is going to make you more money, because billionaires are the only ones that have to worry about regulations anyway. This is another point I'm trying to put across here. We're not stupid, are we? We're not dumb. Thank you.
But not so fast. Senior advisor Jason Miller didn't hold back, saying that Trump forgives, but he doesn't forget.
We know from President Trump and the way he governed in his first term, he likes to build a broad coalition, bring people together, even if they've been against him in the past. He never forgets. And I would just remind people of that.
Joining us now, Rumble CEO and founder Chris Pavlovski. Chris, what do you make of the about face from big tech in Silicon Valley?
The about face, y'all. The about face, y'all.
Yeah, so I think, they kind of move whatever way the wind blows when it comes to actually holding values and especially around the First Amendment, there are none. If we can all remember 4 years ago, it was the Hunter Biden laptop story where all these platforms started censoring factual information and, in my opinion, really helped sway the election in a major way. And I feel that there has to be consequences for things like that. We can't let that escape. They did real damage with the censorship they've done in the last 4 years. And that's something that Rumble has been fighting since 2020. And we've been fighting fiercely. We're the first platform out there to platform President Trump in 2021. And, it wasn't until about 2022 where Elon Musk entered the market with X and also helped on the free speech front. So it's really important that there's consequences for this mass censorship that's happened over the last 4 years around COVID, around the elections. And if there's no
He said the word. Oh my God. Let's go for it. Please do me a favor. Put a 1 in the chat if you were scared to type the word COVID or shot, or you had to type words like jab, or you had to put the emoji for the needle, and you were so scared because you didn't want to get your account closed. Am I the only one that had that problem? You couldn't type the word COVID in your sentence or your message on Facebook. You could not. You could not. Oh, type 1 if you're an idiot. Who's that? Fionach, type 1 if you're an idiot. I had to change a lot of speech to comment. Thank you. Thank you. M says they had to change a lot of speech to comment. We all make money when unnecessary regulations are gone. These narcissistic jackasses want to control our lives, Eddie said. Bezos is a douche, C. Maddox said. I think he is too. Zucker thought he was getting TikTok, David Wiseman said. I think so too. It's still that way. So whoever you are, I don't like people like this. I don't like your views. Fear not. Type 1 if you're an idiot. I don't like your views, so I like to talk to people like you. So I want you to tell me why, if they are a douche, if they're an idiot, they should type 1. Because I don't know about you. Why does it really mean to us for the dude getting a pardon? What does that have to do with us? Nothing. I guess not. It just goes to what's going on in the news and about what we're talking about here, and Donald Trump trying to utilize that information to get himself off of a case or to get a case thrown out. Jam Tank, I never got COVID shot. I never let anyone bully me into it. But let me ask you a question, Jam Tank. Was it harder for you to get work? Was it harder for you to get accepted? Was it harder for you to go places? And that was not fair. That's the part I'm talking about. It not being fair. That people that didn't get the shot were singled out. That's not right.
consequences, then companies like Meta and Google will continue to abuse their powers and continue to sway elections in ways that that shouldn't be happening. So I'm very for some type of consequence in this scenario. And it's ultimately up and it's in the Trump administration's hands and to see what they'll do. But I think it's really important that for what they've done in the past, there are consequences.
Right, Chris, it's maybe keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Because remember, Bobby Kennedy, his account was shut down on Instagram, I think until last year, until he started running for the presidency. It's just astonishing. And they will destroy these companies, be it Meta or Google, through YouTube, they'll destroy you. They'll deplatform somebody and you will no longer.
Hold on a minute. I do not condone the comments and the content that's being said right now. This is content and we are commenting on what's being said. Therefore, I'm not trying to kiss no butt, but I'm also not trying to get my channel, shut down. Because we over here just trying to share information. And you see what I'm trying to say? Now, I got to be scared like that because I know what they might do to me. So whoever you are up there trying to say that I'm making this up or we crazy, I know who you voted for. I do.
Have a business. And on that note, You have not only fought to give people a voice and the freedoms that are guaranteed to them under the Constitution, under our Bill of Rights and the First Amendment, but you've also gone to court. And just recently, you sued the state of California over this new anti-deep fake law, arguing that it does indeed violate the First Amendment.
Absolutely. So, it's one thing to talk the talk. At Rumble, we walk the walk.
Yes,
We challenge. We challenge states. We challenge governments around the world. We've challenged the New York State. We've also recently, as you mentioned, are challenging California. They went out of their way to submit a law. They're trying to pass a law that's going to ban political satire. They're going after satire. This is like. Right. This is like something you would see out of North Korea, not something you think you'd see out of California or anywhere in the United States or anywhere in the Western world.
So, like I asked, let's go to the comments and see if anybody else has ever dealt with anything like that. Okay, I've never gotten COVID shot and never got. Okay, why doesn't really mean for us the dudes getting a pardon? What does that mean to do with us? It's because Joe said he wouldn't pardon Hunter. Okay, let's just forget about Trump pardoning his co-conspirators who pleaded guilty. Leo Janks said that. And we got Leo again, Leo Jan Shea saying Paul Manafort, Melissa Thornley, they all are corrupt. Melissa Thornley again, okay. And Leo says, considering conservatives own the media space, it's pretty laughable to suggest y'all are censored. You're right about that. Yes, all career politicians are corrupt. I agree. Leo again, you had a tweet deleted. Oh, I like that, Leo, because steel sharpens steel. You keep a person's back straight. So if they try to lean one way, you come with your opinion and people come with their own opinion, and it keeps you straight up. So you got to pay attention to all angles at all times. I appreciate you, Leo. Conservatives have been censored so much since 2020. Melissa Thornley says, I'm from Sacramento. Shout out to Sacktown. Shout out to Sacktown. Shout out to California all over. If you guys want to put your state in there so I can shout you out, I got you. Leo M, they own the media space. Melissa Thornley, I love it here and I love Newsom. He actually is a good dude. L. Christus says, half-wit. Charlotte Martin, it's all about truth, and the losers left can't handle the truth. God is in charge. I agree. For thou so loved the world, he gave his only son. Let's go. No, they don't. So conservatives own CNN. Zuckerberg is a conservative. Austin Bryan says Trump baby. Melissa Thornley again. Thank you. And I'm going to try to get that. Not Chad 404. The only conservatives getting censored know what sort of bus windows taste like. Okay. YT.C.E.O are also conservatives. Austin says, made liberals cry again. Leo says, must Daily Wire. I don't know. Come on, don't make me do that. Finna do you ever consider looking at more unbiased news instead of right and left leaning news? Send me some news to look at. Give me some ideas and I'll do that. Melissa Newsom is the reason things are so expensive and the high crime. David says, I really wish Trump could have had the last 4 years. How about if he would have had the last 4 years, he wouldn't be here to try to work on these. Sometimes things happen for a reason. And guess what? What I want to tell everybody, guess what? And I said this in the beginning when I started my show. Not this show, but my overall show. What I'm trying to explain is this. At one point, I wasn't happy with who the president was. There's going to be a point where you're not happy with who the president is. But there's only 4 to 8 years of dealing with that. We have the rest of our lives to worry about. And I get where everybody is stressed out at. But I had to understand that because I was coming out at a time when it was like, I don't like this president and it's stressing me out. And then a president that I like came in. And then the next thing you know, another president that I didn't like came in. And they keep on changing laws and changing things and making things go up and down and up and down. And what I really had to realize was, I can't ride that wave. I want to stay out of that. I want to pick and choose where I want to be at. And hopefully with who we choose, we get the majority of what we're looking for. and just try to be the best people that we can possibly be. That's how I look at it. Let's get rid of this and we out of here.
So seeing stuff like this is really troublesome. We sued the California AG, and so did the Babylon Bee. Babylon Bee is also on Rumble, so they have all their contents on Rumble. And going out of their way to try to ban satire is something that we're not going to stand for. And it just goes to the mission that we're on. We're about walking the walk, not walking the talk. We do it through action, and that's what we're doing in California.
Okay, so that's Rumble trying to blow themselves up. I get it. I don't need to be here for the advertisement. Why? Because Rumble's not paying me. And we already went 10 minutes over the show, which I don't like to do because I don't like to keep you guys here too long. I like to give you that half hour. I like to pop in and pop out because y'all don't want to be bothered with me for no whole hour or more, do you? If you do, you can put some more put some comments down there. Let me know if you'd like the show to go longer, because I honestly can go longer. I can keep on doing this for at least another 30 minutes to make sure I really get the rest of what I want to get out. Honestly, I might make another thumbnail to get this other show done just right now. I might just do that in the next hour. But what I do want to say is I'm so happy that we've been getting all of this traction and you guys have been coming out here to hang out with me. And I'm not going to stop. I want you guys to continue scolding, putting your comments in, saying what you want to say, because your views and your points matter. Mine do too. That's why I try to keep a level and a clean playing field right here. Even if we don't agree with each other, I really just got to really say that I love you guys. And I don't want you to feel hurt and pain out of what we're going through, because it sucks. And it really kind of brings tears to my eyes when I see, let's say, a Democrat or a Republican out there really hurting or really peed off because of the results of an election. Y'all got to really still understand that we love you. So the Democrats that are saying the bad thing about their men, that hurts. Because you might be angry about politics, but you're saying stuff that's going to hurt us. Still love you at the end of the day. So chill out with that. It's your boy BOOGOTTINYC, and like I always tell you, you could have went anywhere. But the fact of the matter that you came here to chill with me, I appreciate you. So maybe in another hour or tomorrow, we're going to get another show cracking. Let's run these numbers up on this one. I love you guys, and I thank you for coming. And like I always tell you, you could have went anywhere. But the fact of the matter that you came here to chill with me, I appreciate you. Get 'em! 1.